right. So this is going to be my new time for streaming for the foreseeable future, anyway. Just because, just because it seems to be a good time for everybody. It's a good time for me. So, yeah, today I figured I would just do some work in Fresco. So I don't have much of an agenda. I'm just gonna do a little bit of work on my iPad Pro. Got my Apple Pencil here, and yeah, just gonna sketch, draw, whatever comes to mind. I'm feeling like I need more creative work lately than structured, kind of disciplined, organized work. I'm actually a third of the way through writing a new book on Adobe Animate. So I finished the fourth chapter today, which puts me about a third of the way through, which is pretty cool. So that's a nice milestone for today. And I figured I'd just take it easy here and just do some sketching, some drawing, whatever sort of comes to mind. And, I have not found a really good solution for streaming from Fresco from the iPad, but I think I'm going to try one of these. So this is a stand for my MacBook Pro that I don't really use all that much because I think it's weird to have the keyboard at like that weird angle. So I'm going to try to use it for my iPad. So the iPad kind of sits in there like this, pretty good. Yeah, let's repurpose this thing. All right. So, for this, so I've got some ideas. The first thing I'm going to do is actually get my ruler going here, because I do like to draw, have some sort of a foundational thing just to kind of start from, and oftentimes the ruler and a line or two will help with that. I've got this idea for sort of like things sort of emerging or creeping over a barrier for this. So that's the idea that I'm starting with, and that's what I'm going to try to get done inside of Fresco today. So let's get into it. I'm just going to use, let's see. I really like the charcoal brushes, so I'm going to use a charcoal brush. Nice thick brush here. Just sort of just start creating that line. Oops. Ruler, I don't really want you to move out of the way there, bud. All right. Turn that off now. So now I've got something to start with, So let's go ahead and do some additional stuff here. Yeah. So I am going to just start sketching. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. I don't want the nib so pronounced. Put smoothing up a bit. And still a bit large. Yeah, so just working off of that initial idea. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and... You know, lots of times I usually just add color when I'm doing like a... Once I've got some kind of a sketch down, I want to fill things in, but I don't usually work with charcoal and color. However, let's go ahead and do that. I do really like this little preview. You can see there, it's like a little triangle that happens with Fresco now. It's something you can turn on. Oh, hey Shannon, how are you? And hello. Gosh, I'm just... Hey everyone else. Sometimes it's hard to pronounce names right. And, you know, it's difficult, and my name gets butchered all the time, Labrecque, all the time. So I am very mindful of, you know, butchering people's names. So I am going to refrain sometimes from saying hi to people. If I can't pronounce your name, I'll just say, hey, how you doing? And that'll probably work out. See, I made these red. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe it should be like purple, or maybe not quite red, because the red looks a little too much like blood. Oh, this looks like a cat. All right, I'm changing direction here. Like initially, this was not supposed to be a cat's tail. It was supposed to be a tentacle coming out, but actually, gosh, it makes it look like a cat. So I think I'm going to go that direction instead. And you know, I mean, that's one of the things that's fun about stuff like this, for me anyway. Just kind of doing, just creating bits and pieces here and there, is, you know, just experimenting, seeing kind of how things go, where things take you, right? Let's go ahead and go back to black. And for this, in order to make it look more like a cat, I'm going to put his little cat head over here. That's a bit large. Let's go back on that a bit. Still, let's take this down even more. And I do like cats, you know? I mean, as long as they're good cats. My cat right now is, he's good now. He's behaved. But when he was a little kitten, he was not so behaved, and he tore up quite a bit of our blinds and stuff like that in the house, which is not cool. But I've mostly forgiven him. That was years and years ago. Every once in a while, if he gets me mad, if he's got a hairball or something, I have to pick it up, I will, I'll bring up the blinds so he feels bad. Maybe that's mean, but... he deserves it. He never once said he was sorry for doing that either. So. Yeah, I think these Wednesdays are a good time for, the stuff that I'm trying to do here because, for one thing, I don't have to stay up very late. Where, that's variable. It's like some nights I like to stay up late, and then other nights I don't. So, having stuff late at night, like I usually would stream. Some nights it would work, and then other nights it's like, oh gosh, I wish I could just go to bed, but I've got a stream to do. And that's counterproductive to what we're trying to do here, right? I want to do this. I want to make this cat. I don't want to feel like I'm forced to do it or that I have to slog through it or anything like that. Yeah, another thing that's kind of nice. So, we're getting to the point in the semester now that we're almost done. We've got a couple weeks left is all for fall semester at my university, and that's great because, really, so one thing we did to help stop the spread of COVID is that we got rid of spring break, basically. We've got like 1 or 2 days, not spring break, Thanksgiving break, fall break, whatever you might want to call it. So we got rid of that, basically. You got like a Thursday and Friday. It's very, very truncated. The students have Thanksgiving off, of course. But one of the problems with that is that, they still have, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Any classes that fall on those days are still going to happen. So because of that, I teach this semester Mondays and Wednesdays, right? So because of that, my students have classes Monday, Wednesday, and neither me or my students is getting any sort of a break because, it's not a Thursday, Friday type of thing, and that's what we got off. So I can feel, and I absolutely empathize with the students. I can feel that they are getting really burned out from a lot of the work. So it's good that we're almost at the end of the semester. And I gotta shut up my Outlook here. It's making noises at me as I'm trying to do this, which is no good. I should have shut it off before. But yeah, so here's our little kitty. He's coming out pretty nice. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change the red that's coming over the wall. See, I started this off as like this creepy thing, where we've got like this tentacle coming over the wall. It's gonna be some kind of like a creature, and it still is a creature. It's a cat creature though, not a whatever direction I was going with initially. And yeah, what we're gonna do is just tweak this into something more friendly because we don't want it to look like the cat is injured, right? The cat should not be injured. And it's not. Trust me. The cat is just fine. Because I would not draw an injured cat. It's not what I want to do. So let's go ahead and start changing these. Maybe we'll make it like a purple or green. That's cool. Let's make it green. We'll fix this here. And, why green, right? So, right, cats' eyes, especially black cats, can oftentimes be green. So that's kind of where I'm getting the color from here. And yeah, it's just based on the new direction that I'm going with this thing. We're going cat, all out cat, so we're going green eyes. It's like the cat's feline energy pooling up and coming over the wall here. I should, now that I'm thinking about it, I should give the wall a color as well. Like I said earlier, like, I mean, I usually do only black when it comes to charcoals, right? But today, just seeing where things go, we're gonna add some color. Add this green. And the wall itself, I'm thinking, should be kind of blue. So let's do that. I'm gonna actually just add a new layer right there. I'll just do this behind. Just as a light blue. And actually, let's choose a different brush for this. Not do the charcoals right now. Let's use some of the Keith Haring brushes. Let's see how this looks here. Not quite. Better. Let's make it big. Oh yeah, cool. So, not quite as big. Maybe like 400. And let's make this a little darker too. More towards gray, right? Than blue. We'll just start. Putting that in here and there. It's very odd. My my MacBook is flipping out a little bit. Not sure why. Perhaps it doesn't like cats. Could be scared of my cat. I think that's about done right there. Let's go ahead and give some background to the other bits and pieces here too. Gosh, I would love to know what happened to my desktop. It just completely went away. Which isn't very good. Really weird. I swear, I've had so many issues here and there with computers lately. It's a bit ridiculous. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. All right, so let's make yellow. Something a bit yellow and subdued for what we've got going on here. Just straight up chalk, maybe. Pretty good. Actually, I mean, let's add another layer. And yeah, I just keep getting different ideas, right? Add this in, have it be a little green. And do the same kind of thing down here, just to keep it a little more grounded. Really weird. I wonder what the heck is going on with my stupid MacBook. It doesn't seem to be affecting the stream at all. Still says I'm live. Everything's still going from my end. So I am going to assume that everything's still okay. I mean, as you can see, you know, I had my iPad being shared above my desktop. And it's just sort of, you know, it's kind of done right now. It's not showing anything but black. Except I do have my stuff over here. It's very, very weird. Very weird. I wonder if I force quit Finder. I don't know if I want to do this like during a stream here, but let's go ahead and force quit Finder. We will tempt fate. It just relaunched and there is no difference whatsoever. I guess it's something I'll have to figure out afterwards, but for now it is bothering me quite a bit. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I think that this green stuff is it needs a little more work. So I'm going to add some maybe purple. Just over it right here, just a little bit of texture, right? That's a little too big. This just makes it look not so plastic, right? Because it looks a little too plastic to me right now. I don't want it to look plastic. So I'll just add that little bit of texture that I want, and it'll counteract the green a bit too. I mean, it almost looks like grass. Which is kind of cool. Yeah, that also helps blend in some of the red that was coming out there, right? Huh. You know, let's go ahead and just extend this towards the end. Get out of these brushes, go back to my charcoal. There we go. Just adding that definition. And a little bit here and there along these edges. Again, it's going to give it a little more or a little less of that plastic feel to it. That bothered me a little bit. So here's one way to get rid of it. All right, I think we're almost done with this. Let's see. Sometimes I like to put a little watercolor above it and then put some blend modes on to sort of ground things a little more. I use that term a lot when it comes to painting and drawing, and I think it's a good term to use, but you know, others might not. I think people understand what I mean when I say that. So I'm just going to choose just a couple colors here. Now it's not going to, like, we're just using these watercolors to act as a overlay, right? So they should be a bit random. I'm going to tweak them a little bit here and there. The idea is, and I guess the thinking behind it is like, you know, think about coffee stains, right? Or tea stains, any kind of stains like that. Some kind of a beverage. And of course, since I'm doing this in a layer above all my other layers, you know, it doesn't look all that great right now. But if I go and actually make these adjustments to my layer in the blend mode, you can kind of see how it works out, right? So multiply is pretty good, darken. And I mean, you can play with these things as little or as much as you might want. And I'm just looking for something that gives me that sort of, you know, that grounded coffee stain look that I was talking about earlier. So I want one of these burns maybe. Multiply is always good. Darken sometimes works. Let's see, linear burn. We'll just take the opacity down. So here's without completely. And here we've got it a bit like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think it might be done. Is there anything else I need to do to this cat? Actually, I kind of wonder how it would look if I smudge some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and use the smudge tool. And make sure got the right, oh, not too much. Hey there. Let's pull that down a little bit. Actually, that might work out pretty good. So if I do this, I may actually be able to change the blend mode on this too, or at least the opacity to get some of that roughness back, right? Because it's only being done on that top layer. So let's see here. Yeah, Pretty good. All right. I think this is about as good as it's going to get. So it's always like the trick, right? You can be like, oh, I'm just going to keep tweaking this, and, you know, maybe it'll get better, but maybe it'll get worse. It's one of the cool things about digital, of course, is that you can go through and, you know, you can always undo, right? So let's go ahead and give this a name. Let's see. What should I call it? Feline. Emergence. Cool. And usually what I do is I just share this directly on Behance, right? So I'm going to do that right now. Going to do a publish and export. Behance project. Perfect. Let's go ahead and publish that guy. And here we go, getting published. Sweet. Awesome. It works live. So I guess that is it for today. It's a bit of a shorter stream, but you know, you got to work with whatever happens at any specific time. Anybody who's here right now, thank you for joining. And those watching the replay, thanks for caring enough to have a look at it. I hope it was informative and enjoyable. I had fun. And I'll see everybody next week at the same time. So that's 11 a.m., right? In the Pacific time zone. All right. Thanks all.